Company, makers of fine foods for the whole family, presents America's favorite family, the Nelsons. Ozzie, Harriet, David, and Ricky. And now a word about one of the many fine Quaker products, kennel ration.
The first time you saw him, you knew he was the one dog in the world for you. At first, he wagged his tail. He slept. And he ate. And he grew strong and handsome on kennel ration, America's favorite dog food. Kennel ration is packed with lean red meat. It contains wholesome steaks, chops, and roasts of U.S. government-inspected horse meat, plus every nutrient a dog is known to need, the kind of protein-rich food today's dogs require. Yes, there's no other dog in the world like yours. No other dog food like kennel ration. So doesn't he, don't they, deserve the best? Put your trust in kennel ration with lean red meat. More people do.
Now, Quaker invite you to enjoy The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet.
I think I'll have some hot tea. How about you, Jim?
Coffee for me, please.
Looks like you've got another warm summer coming up.
Yeah. Oh, say, Oz, did I tell you I think I got my nephew a job at the bank?
Oh, Zeke?
Yeah, well, just for the summer vacation, of course.
Gee, that's great.
Well, it took a little doing. 2 lunches, a dinner, and I had to pay off my loan.
I hope it was worth it.
Yeah, I hope so, too. I'm afraid he kind of wasted his last 2 vacations.
In what way?
They just sort of loafed around, didn't do much of anything.
Oh, I think that's half the fun of growing up. Personally, I think it's just as important for a kid to learn how to relax and do nothing occasionally as it is to learn how to work.
Yeah, I guess you got a point there. But I think the job in the bank will do him a lot of good. Teach him a little discipline. Besides, he'll be making a little money for a change.
And charge him room and board?
Yeah, that's an idea. Is Rick going to take a job for the summer?
Well, I don't know. He's mentioned a couple of possibilities.
Say, maybe I could get him a job at the bank, too. That is, if you want to pay for another dinner.
No, I don't think that's the kind of a job he has in mind. He mentioned something about working at a dude ranch for the summer.
Will they pay him for a job like that?
Well, not much, but he'll have a lot of fun.
Oh, well, that's one way of looking at it. You sure you don't want me to try to get him a job at the bank?
Oh, no thanks, Joe. Besides, I think we ought to let the kids work those things out for themselves, don't you?
Yeah. Well, if he should change his mind, let me know, will you?
Oh, yeah. Well, should we get going?
Yeah, let's go.
Mr. Randolph will pay for that. His nephew's a banker.
Where's Wally? I don't know. Oh, here he comes. Hey, fellas, don't leave me up here. That's one way to get off a horse.
Boy, this horseback riding is tougher than I thought.
Hi, fellas.
Hi, Mr. Cooper.
You have a good ride?
Yeah, fine, thanks.
Make up your mind about that job yet, Rick?
Well, yeah, it sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. I'd like to think about it a little more, though, if it's okay with you.
Oh, sure, but don't take too long. I promise to let him know by tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, what job's that, Rick?
Well, Mr. Cooper's got a lead on a couple of jobs at the Bar-Z Ranch.
Oh, the dude ranch up by the lake?
Yeah, you've been up there, haven't you?
Well, no, but I heard about it. What do you have to do?
Oh, saddle and unsaddle the horses, rub them down, take the guests for rides, sing them cowboy songs in the evening.
Do you get paid for that?
Well, not much, but you get your room and board free. Sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, it sure does to me. It sounds like it'd be a wonderful vacation. Well, maybe we could all go.
Wait just a second, I'll ask Mr. Cooper. Mr. Cooper?
Yeah?
Could they use a couple more hands up there?
Well, I can find out about it.
Well, gee, I think my uncle's made arrangements for me to work in a bank this summer.
Well, what about you, Wally?
Well, yeah, I just remembered I'm supposed to work in an insurance office.
All I can say is I sure feel sorry for you guys. But you can visit me on the weekends. A lot of girls spend their vacations up there, you know.
I'm beginning to feel sorry for myself.
Well, I'll say this much. It sounds a lot better than working in a bank.
Well, just let me know as soon as you can, will you, fellas?
Well, why don't we leave it this way? If we can make it, we'll let you know by tomorrow morning.
That'll be fine.
What about the job at the bank?
Well, did you tell him definitely that I'd take it, Uncle Joe?
Well, no, but I said you were very interested.
Well, I think the dude ranch would be a lot more fun.
Well, I suppose it would be, but they'll hardly get any business experience up there.
Oh, what difference does that make? After all, the kids have been studying hard all winter.
How do you feel about it, Wally?
Well, to tell you the truth, Mr. Randolph, I don't like the horses, but I like the idea.
Hey, maybe you could get a job as a lifeguard at the swimming pool.
Do they have a swimming pool up there, too?
Well, sure they do. And tennis courts and a big recreation hall where they have dancing every night.
Are you sure they pay you for this?
Yeah, of course.
Well, boy, that insurance job sounds less tempting every minute.
What's your father gonna say?
Oh, he won't care. He just wants me out of the house for the summer.
Then you're in good shape. This will get you out of the house and out of town, too.
Do you mind if I use the phone? I want to call my father and tell him the good news.
Here's the one up in my room. I'll probably have to get a new pair of riding boots. These are getting a little tight.
Well, are you happy?
Well, yeah. I think the kids made a good decision. They won't make much money, but they'll have a lot of fun.
What am I going to tell the man at the bank?
Well, tell him Zeke changed his mind. Well, what's he got to complain about anyway? He got a couple of free dinners, didn't he?
Well, okay, but when they all write home for money, don't say I didn't warn you.
Well, they're not going to write home for money. They're getting room and board and a little spending money. They won't have to write home for anything.
Well, if Zeke worked at the bank, he'd learn the value of money firsthand.
Well, this is a wonderful job. They get a lot of fresh air and exercise. I can't think of a better way for a couple of kids to spend the summer.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't happen to agree with you.
Oh, that's your privilege.
Well, I don't agree with you.
Okay, you don't agree with me.
Okay, and don't tell anybody it was my idea because I don't agree with you.
You don't agree with me. I want you to get a tape recording made of this. So long, Joe.
It's too bad Dave has to work in a law office this summer. He could come along with us.
Yeah?
Say, Rick, do they have any cattle on this ranch?
Well, just enough to give the place a little atmosphere.
That's too bad.
Well, why?
Well, when I think of a ranch, I think of rolling hills and big herds of cattle and cowboys rounding them up.
Well, they don't have ranches like that. Not anymore.
Well, sure they do. In Arizona, Wyoming, Texas, they're real working ranches.
Hey, wait a second. As long as we're going to go to work on a ranch, why don't we go to a place like that? Work on a real ranch.
You might have something there, Zeke. That'd really be an experience.
Yeah, but could we get a job on one of them?
Well, wouldn't hurt to try.
And how would we go about it?
Well, maybe we could get one of the travel agencies downtown to help us.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go.
Arizona, Wyoming? Boy, my father will really go for this idea.
Yes. Yes, we'll call back as soon as we've confirmed the reservation. Thank you. Well, hi, fellows. What can I do for you?
Oh, we'd like some information on ranches.
Oh, there's a wonderful dude ranch up near the lake, and it's inexpensive, too. The Bar Z.
Oh, yeah, we know about that one. They offered us a job up there.
You see, we're not looking for a place to stay as guests, and we'd like to work on a ranch.
Oh, well, what's wrong with that one?
Oh, nothing, except we'd like to work on a real ranch.
Yeah, you know, in Montana, Wyoming, or Texas, where they have cattle and roundups.
Does it sound like a good idea?
Well, sounds wonderful. In fact, I'd like to do something like that myself.
Well, why don't you?
Well, I'm a girl.
Oh, we didn't come in here for that information, but I'm glad to know it.
What's this?
Just read the folders.
Let me see if I can find some information for you. Did you say Montana?
Or Wyoming or Texas, we don't care.
Yeah, just as long as they got ranches where we can work.
I can't seem to find anything here, but maybe my father could help you.
Oh, well, that'd be swell.
Well, he isn't here today, but I'll ask him first thing in the morning. Would you leave your number, please, and we'll call you?
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Come on, Wally.
Hey, wait a second. I think I found a perfect place. A ranch? Well, not exactly, but it's got a lot of open spaces.
Are you kidding?
Are you kidding? What do you mean, am I kidding? Are you kidding? And you?
Yeah, I thought it over, and I've decided you're right.
Good. When did you decide? Before or after I talked to Clara?
Oh, Clara didn't really change my mind. She just kind of influenced me.
What you use, the frying pan?
Oh, nevertheless, I agree with you.
Well, I'm glad. It'll be wonderful for the boys.
Oh, sure, they'll have a lot of fun, get a lot of fresh air and exercise, and they'll make some money.
Well, I hope so.
Oh, sure. These kids are a lot more practical than you think they are.
Hi, folks.
Oh,
Hi,
hi.
Father. We were just talking about you guys.
We decided it might be just as well if you didn't work in the bank this summer.
Oh, gee, am I glad to hear that.
I think the Dude Ranch will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so do I.
Well, we kind of changed our plans a little bit, Pop.
In fact, we changed them a couple of times.
Well, in what way?
Well, we thought it'd be a good idea if we worked on a real ranch, like they have in Arizona or Wyoming or someplace.
Now, look here.
Well, I say, don't get excited. That sounds like a good idea. It might be a little more work, but at least the boys will get a chance to see some of the country.
Yeah, that's what we figured too, Pop. So we went down to the travel agency and we found a real great place to spend the summer.
Well, where's that?
Well, we figured as long as we were going to do a little traveling anyway.
Where did you decide to go?
Right here, Mr. Nelson.
Tahiti?
Tahiti.
Sure, you know. Oh, we're going to a hooky-la, a hooky. Is that hooky enough for you?
I would say yes.
Anyone for waffles and ice cream? How goes it, old horse?
Thanks. I've been ridden, kicked, whipped, fought over, under, and on. These are good. Chocolate.
Mm-hmm. I used chocolate milk in the Aunt Jemima waffle recipe.
Come on, Jay, let's play horse.
Ugh.
You sure you wouldn't like some more waffles and ice cream first?
Yep.
Bless you.
Seconds come naturally with Aunt Jemima. People have been saying more to Aunt Jemima waffles and pancakes for over 60 years. If you like waffles, sure as shaken, they're Aunt Jemima's.
May I ask a practical question?
How practical?
Well, like, how are you going to get there?
Yeah, how are you going to get there? It'll be pretty expensive for you guys, won't it?
Well, we'll just have to work that out.
You sure make it sound easy.
I'm not sure Tahiti isn't too ambitious.
Oh, I'll get it. Hello?
Rick?
Yeah.
This is Janet. You know, at the travel agency.
Oh, yeah, how are you?
Fine, thanks. Listen, are you serious about going to Tahiti?
Well, I was up until a few minutes ago, but it's beginning to look like it's going to be too expensive.
That's what I had in mind. Suppose it didn't cost you anything.
What do you mean?
Well, my father has a friend who owns a sailing vessel, and he's planning a trip to Tahiti this summer. And he needs a couple of hands to help him on board ship.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, honestly. Now, why don't you guys go down to the harbor and talk to him? Maybe you can work something out.
Gee, thanks, Janet. We'll go down there the first thing in the morning. What's the man's name?
Well, it's, oh, have you got a pencil and paper?
Well, just a second. Pop, would you write this down for me?
Okay, what is it?
What is it, Janet?
The man's name is Captain Middleton.
Captain Middleton.
Is that 2 D's in the middle of Middleton?
Yeah, I think
And the name of the ship is the Sea Lark.
so. The Sea Lark.
Sea Lark.
Gee, thanks a lot.
Well, that's okay, son.
I'll let you know how we make out.
Okay, and good luck.
Oh, gee, thanks, Janet.
What's this about Captain Middleton and the Sea Lark?
Well, that's the answer to your question, Mom. The girl down at the travel agency found a schooner that's going to Tahiti this summer. They're getting the crew together right now.
Hey, that's great.
I'm not so sure.
I'm going to tell Zeke and Wally.
Don't forget dinner.
I'll be right back. What are we having?
Well, we were going to have lamb chops, but now I think poi and chopped coconut would probably be more appropriate.
Come on in, boys. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Boy, it sure is.
You fellas know anything about sailing?
Well, not yet, but we're willing to learn.
I've read a lot about the sea. Well, that all helps, of course, but I'm sure you realize that there's a great deal of difference between reading about the sea and actually sailing on a ship.
Oh, we realize that, sir, but we sure appreciate the chance.
Well, we don't sail for about 4 weeks. Why don't you fellas come down here for a couple of weekends and let's see how it works out.
Well, that sounds fair enough to me.
Sounds great. Yeah, that'll give us a chance to hoist the jib and horn the tailpipe. Well, that's sailor talk, fella.
You sure do have a nice schooner here, Captain.
Thank you. I was mighty proud of her on our last trip. We hit the worst storm I have ever seen in my life.
Oh, when was that? Last summer?
No, it was January. It was off the coast of New Zealand.
New Zealand?
The west coast. As I say, we hit the worst storm I've ever seen in my life, but she came through beautifully. Oh, of course, we pitched and tossed quite a bit. Threw us off our course a little. We were delayed a few weeks.
Well, how long do you plan to be gone this trip?
Oh, I'd say about a year. Not much more.
A year?
A year?
A year?
Boy, a year is a long time.
It's a shame to turn it down, but we can't stay away that long.
Well, maybe it's just as well. I'm not much of a sailor. I was getting seasick just sitting there listening to it.
Now, how is that possible when you ride around this tugboat all day?
Well, I guess I'm just a landlubber at heart.
Hey, here's an idea. How about Mexico?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good to me, too. In fact, I've always wanted to go there.
I'll get some more information on it.
What do you think, Wally?
Well, any place is okay with me as long as it's on dry land.
Only thing, though, we got the same old problem. No money.
You mean no pesos?
Well, no matter how you say it, we haven't got any. How are we going to get there?
You really don't need much money. You have an old car, don't you?
Well, you must have seen it.
You can sleep in the car and pick up a few odd jobs along the way.
Hey, maybe Rick could play his guitar and fight a couple of bulls, and we could pass the hat.
You know, I think Janet's got an idea there. 3 able-bodied young men, we could work our way to Mexico in no time. We could even hitchhike if we had to.
Hitchhike? Are you insulting my car?
We think that jalopy yours would make it?
Are you kidding? It may look old, but there's a lot of automobile under that hood, boy.
Well, come on, let's go home and break the news. Thanks a lot, Janet.
Hey, adios, senorita.
So long, fellas.
I can't understand it. She usually runs better than this.
Well, that wouldn't be difficult. This isn't running at all. Think we'll make it?
Oh, sure. Mexico isn't so far.
Who's talking about Mexico? I mean home for dinner tonight. Let's get out of here before we go into orbit. Long walk home, boys.
Are you kidding, you guys? I've been driving this car for 5 years, and I haven't had to walk yet. Well, it was just as well. He looked like a reckless driver to me.
Look, we just want to get home.
Well, it was only one car.
Well, that makes 52, not counting trucks.
Hey, wait a minute.
Are you kidding?
Well, there was room for one of us on the handlebar.
Well, come on, we'll never get home this way.
Oh, hi, fellas.
Hi, pal. Have you got $4.85?
What for?
Well, there's a taxi outside, and we don't have enough money to pay him.
Yeah, I'll pay him.
How come you guys took a taxi home?
Well, Wally's car broke down, and we tried to hitch a ride, but we didn't have any luck.
Boy, that sure taught us a lesson.
Well, those things happen.
How could we expect to hitchhike all the way to Mexico when we couldn't even catch a ride home?
Mexico? What's this about Mexico?
Well, that's where we're going to spend the summer.
Well, wait a minute. When you left here this morning, you were going to get a job on a boat and go to Tahiti.
I know, but the trip would have taken too long. The captain said he'd be gone almost a year.
Well, how did you decide on Mexico?
Well, the girl at the travel bureau suggested it.
It sounded like a great idea, but unfortunately, Wally's car fell apart.
Boy, some guys just don't have a sense of humor.
About what?
15-cent tips. We should have loaned Rick some more money, Mr. Nelson.
What are you talking about? We're splitting the taxi fare 3 ways.
What about my car? Are we splitting that 3 ways?
We don't have to. It already is.
Let me get this straight. You mean you guys are figuring on hitchhiking all the way to Mexico?
Yeah, we were thinking about it.
Well, I don't like to put a damper on things, but I don't think hitchhiking's such a good idea.
The luck we have, we might as well have gone to Tahiti for the year.
What are you going to do?
Well, you know, I've been thinking about it, and that job Mr. Cooper offered us on the Dude Ranch is beginning to sound better and better.
Yeah, why don't you call him up and tell him he's hired himself 3 world travelers?
Well, I just hope we're not too late. I was supposed to let him know this morning.
Would you like some milk?
You mean to dunk the cookies in?
Well, let me put it another way. Would you like some cookies and milk?
Well, now that you mention it, thank you.
Hello, Mr. Cooper? This is Rick Nelson. Oh, well, that's what I was afraid of. No, that's all right. It's my fault. Oh, well, thanks anyway. Maybe we can make it next summer.
I take it they hired somebody else, huh?
Yeah, we're too late.
Well, maybe it's just as well. I don't like horses anyway.
I'm beginning to think you're a jinx, Wally. You don't like horses, you get seasick, your car breaks down. What do we need you for?
Well, for laughs. What else?
What are we going to do about this summer?
Well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that job in the insurance office.
You are, really?
Well, how else can I pay for a new car? I can't drive that clunk.
You're not giving up, are you?
Oh, what else can I do?
It just isn't like you, Wally. You're making too much sense.
Well, I figure if I can get myself a new car this year, then next summer we can go to Mexico.
Hey, that's an idea. If we had some money saved up, we could really have some fun. Gee, I wonder if I could still get that job at the bank. Oh, I'm sure you can. Well, what about you, Rick? Well, unless I want to be awful lonesome this summer, I'd better start looking for a job the first thing in the morning.
Mr. Nelson. I'm Mr. Hunter. Won't you sit down? Now, I notice that you don't state any preferences here. Is there anything that you're particularly interested in?
Well, I almost had a job at the Barzy Dude Ranch, but I waited too long.
Oh, dear. I guess that was my fault.
Oh, why'd he say that?
Well, I sent a couple of other fellows over there, and they must have gotten you a job. Why didn't you take it?
Well, it's kind of a long story. See, these friends of mine and I kind of got the idea we wanted to see the world. And the first thing you know, we lost out all around.
You, interested in travel?
Well, it'd be a great way to spend the summer, if I could earn a little money at the same time.
I think I've got just the job for you.
Drowsy afternoons on the white coral sands, romantic evenings under the tropical moonlight.
Well, it sounds simply wonderful. But of course, I'll have to go home and talk it over with my husband.
Oh, of course.
Well, thank you so much, young man. You make it sound so inviting.
It's a pleasure. How am I doing?
Fine. You sound like a travel folder.
Well, where do you think I learned all that stuff?
We won't be in here.
Oh, what do you mean?
Oh, no, I think we did.
No, but it has other advantages.
Like what?
Oh, I have the evenings to myself. Oh, what are you doing Saturday night?
Well, I was thinking about going to the movies with my mother. Why? What did you have in mind?
We could rent 2 Palominos and wend our way along a moonlit path, basking in the beauty of a balmy spring evening.
I beg your pardon?
How about going horseback riding?
I'd love to.
Good. I'll make all the necessary arrangements.
You do that. This isn't exactly what I'd call horseback riding.
Well, no, but it's a lot of fun, isn't it?
Oh, it sure is. I suppose I shouldn't ask this, but isn't it terribly expensive here?
Well, yes and no.
What do you mean by that?
Well, have you ever heard of a guy working his way through college?
Well, sure, but what's that got to do with it?
Well, I'm working my way through dinner.
You're what?
Okay, Rick, you're on next.
Oh, thanks a lot. Pardon me, I'll be right back.
A hug, a kiss, and a good hot Quaker Oats breakfast. The best school day start you can give your youngster. For just as his soul is nourished by a hug and a kiss, so will his young body be nourished by a good hot breakfast of Quaker Oats. Yes, you'll keep him bright and alert for classwork, happy and healthy through the morning's active play with a nourishing hot breakfast of Quaker Oats with that wonderful oatmeal protein. Naturally, youngsters look forward to an occasional change for breakfast. So one morning, try strawberries blended right in while the oatmeal cooks. Another time, blend in pineapple or tangy applesauce. The recipe for delicious oatmeal and fruit blended is right on the package. Yes, it's so nice having a mother who starts the school day with a hug and a kiss and a good hot oatmeal breakfast made with Quaker Oats or Mother's Oats, the same high-protein oatmeal.
Ozzie and Harriet have been brought to you tonight by the Quaker Oats Company. Quaker, producers of more than 50 foods for the family. Next time you shop, try one of the many fine products of the Quaker Oats Company.
This has been an ABC Television Network film presentation.